Hi there, it's the end of the week, and to be honest, it's been a pretty brutal week. Just it's full on at the moment, lots of work, which I'm grateful for, but some kit going wrong, and just a few aches and strains in the body, and it's just been as tough as any of those walking years. Just so grateful for a couple of mates who come in and help me. Stephen, David, just so grateful, not wanting any payment, just come in and give a hand, and just so blessed by that. Just something very brutal at times about working the land, and it keeps me real and it holds me in. But yeah, man alive, you get to the end of the week, and you know that you've worked, and how else do I describe the that whole thing of land? I've struggled in these last few vlogs, I know, to find the words, because we in the West are so removed from the reality of engagement with the land, and yet so much. There is so much treasure locked up in the land, and there is so much to discover for those who are willing to marry into the land, and to connect our future to that of the land. And through these vlogs, I've reconnected with an old friend, Heidi, and big respect to you, Heidi. You get my vote, my love. You've got your issues as I've got mine, and yet I love the fact that 2 years ago you moved into a caravan along with your husband Saul, and not because you particularly wanted to, but it was a case of needs must, and but also a case of intentionally wanting to line up with those who were literally locked out of the land, that they were not able to, and are not able to, raise the mortgage, raise the rent, to find the space to prosper, as Kath and I did decades ago when we set up home. And so Heidi took up life in a caravan, and that sounds really glib, just coming saying it now, but the mud and the frozen pipes and the condensation and the cold and the weather. Only you know fully what that really meant, and I love your willingness to engage with that whole generation who has been locked out. And I know at this time, Heidi, there's another story to tell, that keys are being given to you, and I'm so excited about that, and that's your story, not mine. But all across the globe, that there is a whole generation coming through who are not being allowed to move to adulthood, because there is not the space for them to set up home, as Kath and I did some years ago. So this whole generational thing, I absolutely detest. The way land and resources are locked up to older generation people, and I'm 60, getting on 61, and the government tells me when I'm 66 I'm entitled to my state pension. And I'd absolutely love to be in the position when I'm 66 where I was able to take that state pension and say, I don't want to put it in my own pocket, but I want to sow it into the generations coming up behind me, those who have a squeeze for space. And I probably won't be able to do that, but I would love to be able to do that, because I want to live my life for the generations coming through. And we adopted Jen and Jo, our lovely Chinese daughters, for many reasons. First and foremost, because of the wonderful, lovely, beautiful kids they are. But third or fourth on the list was because we wanted to identify with the generation coming through, and we wanted to share in the challenge of declaring, is there space, is there a future, is there provision in the heart of heaven for those squeezed to the edge. So land, people, place, all those things help to hold us in to the place of reality, the place of authenticity, outside the construct of Christendom that would say everything is nice and locked down, and yet that is so not the reality. And I love those wrestling with these real issues. I've got a Facebook friend called Paul Leader. Paul, we've never met. I'd love to get a coffee with you sometime. But I love your story, Paul, and I love that moment when you, like myself, walked away from congregational leadership and took up on the night shift at Tesco's, and yet when promotion was offered, you turned it down, as I understand it, not because you wouldn't have liked more money, but because you felt that you hadn't fully discharged your care for the night shift that you were working with. And Paul, that big respect. You get my vote. In a million years, I could have never done what you did there. But that, for me, is the real deal. That, for me, is where we need to be positioned as the people of God. This is, I think, my third vlog of just seeking to explore these issues. And I hope they're provoking you and encouraging you in your own journey to really connect and engage where it really counts. And I just want to tentatively just toss out the possibility of maybe, if you've been following these vlogs, and not just these series, but the series I did before, and whatever I called it, something, Stories from the Edge or whatever, just toss out the possibility of opening up the farm. Kath and I penciled in the weekend of the 21st, 22nd of July, the Saturday afternoon, evening, Sunday morning. We can put on some food. You can bring your tent, you can bring your camper van, you can get accommodation across the city of Leeds. But if there's just a few of us who want to share story and connect and laugh a bit and cry a bit and drink a glass or two of wine, then that's great. Believe me, if that doesn't happen, that's all right too. We're just living our little lives here and not looking to gather anything, but equally aware that there may well be benefit in getting together. So if you would like that, then just message me privately and we'll see whether that something can shape through. But thank you for connecting with these vlogs. Hope they've been helpful. If they've not, well, you can go elsewhere.